Hello people, this is another Dose of Drew installment of Friday Night Knives. This one is actually the APurvis Blades Progeny v.2. This is my personal copy. I'm actually going to be having this up for sale. I just wanted to show that it is, I don't know if you can tell, but that right there is the official way you can tell it is an APurvis Blades. Definitely a good one. Really like this piece here. Nice sheep's foot design, good slicer. I wasn't particularly fond of the two-tone, but the other carbon fiber the other Raindrop Carbon Fiber had sold out with the full black. And I reached out to Adam Purvis online, and he said that he had a couple of other ones that had it on there, and he showed me the different types. And this was definitely one that I was attracted to with the Raindrop Rose Carbon Fiber, whatever you want to call that. Super sweet carbon fiber. Right? Super cool. Once again, you guys, this is really cool. I'm not going to go through specs. I'll just do it because it's really, if you're looking at this, there's no more of these you can get. I don't believe he is selling any more of these. I am doing this because I have it, and I'm actually going to be putting this one up for sale. It will be out on YouTube, or not on YouTube. This will be out on YouTube. I'll put the link on YouTube so that you can know where to go out on eBay in order to get this knife. It will be for sale. And again, I'm selling it at a discount from the price I paid. It is slightly used. I've used it on a very few things, and just so you can see the coating, it's pretty durable. You might be able to make out a couple of things where there's some streaks right there where I had gone through maybe some paper or plastic. Maybe I just haven't cleaned it off good enough. Anyway, to make sure the edge was good, I stropped it one strop per side twice on some 1/2 micron strap. Oh my God, this thing holds an edge nice. M390, really thin edge. You get to see the different grind lines on here. It has a swedge on top that definitely breaks up a little bit, so it moves through both curving areas and soft. It definitely helps it move through soft material as well as making curved cuts. If you can see really quick here on the back, it has this nice flat spot. So really in the thumb grip, when you've got it down, the bit on the back of your hand there stays nice and flat, right? So you've got a good platform with which to lever all the way across your entire palm and really get a good solid grip and leverage on the blade in order to make a nice push cut through that. And this blade shape really lends itself to it. There's just enough choil that you can kind of get a pinch grip if you have to. And the thumb studs do a good job of limiting your finger slip on the forward way. So you got kind of a backstop for your fingers. So you can get a little bit choked up on it. You can even keep your fingers back and get your finger almost out to the tip. But it is a fairly natural curve from your wrist or finger all the way out to the tip where it kind of goes, and you know exactly where it is when you're doing that. It is when you point down like that, the natural line extends out, you know where that tip is. Really well designed in that sense. Great action, smooth. Oh, man. Ooh, snappy, right? So you can see cutouts for the thumb in the back there for when you're actually using the flipper instead of the thumb studs, and of course it works sublimely. Really good action. I really have to admit that really long back spacer is probably my least favorite thing about it, but the cutout going all the way through makes it nice. It does give everything a place to go. If you blow it out, you can blow it out both directions. I have not taken this one apart since I got it. There is no marks on the screws. This has kind of been a bit of a safe clean for me. I hate to admit it. It's not usually the way I do things, but this one has been an exception. All right, yapping is enough. Let's get into looking at how big some of this stuff is. Take a good quick look at this. This is it next to a Civivi Ortis. Take a good long look at that one, right? Not a bad comparison as far as size. get a little more blade length with the Progeny v.2, and a little bit more handle length, and approximately and a little bit more hand space too, though you get a fuller choil on the Ortis, which kind of in the end gives you just a little bit more hand space in full active mode. That being said, another Civivi, just to get it out of the way, there's the Elementum. It is definitely larger than the Elementum, as the Ortis is also larger than the Elementum, but that gives you an idea. Again, hand space is about the same total from behind the flipper tab all the way out to there as from the choil all the way out to the end of the Civivi Elementum. Lots of hand space on this relatively small knife. A couple others to get out here and do a little bit of in-betweens. The CJRB Feldspar in large and small. One of my favorite budget and honestly all-around knives, both for the money and just in good design. And as you can see, it's really close to the large Feldspar in a lot of ways, with a little bit more blade and again, less choil. And definitely larger than the small Feldspar, so that gives you a lot to work with. Again, Feldspar, good knife for the money as well. Another good comparison drop on here with a knife that is somewhat larger. We have the Rat #1 in the Micarta Special from KnifeCenter.com, and the Rat Model 2 in my own personalized purple dyed FRN Rat #2. As you can see, you get quite a bit more knife blade, similar to the Elementum. You have very similar hand space over the entire Rat 2 as you do on the APurvis here on the Progeny v.2. And it is similar size, though somewhat smaller overall, but very similar in cutting edge length to the Rat 1, which Rat 1 gives you, of course, a lot more hand space just for the size. It is a very large knife. One quick coming up here to give you guys another one on the comparisons. If you have a bare knuckle, which I think this knife compares very favorably to, or more appropriately, if you are on a budget and you are really looking for an APurvis, without going to a Civivi Mechana, similar, not quite as much hand space, but similar in abilities, is the Kershaw bare knuckle with a whole lot of blade length. In fact, more than this, though you get a actual usable choil space really on the APurvis. Whereas, yeah, you kind of get a little bit, though. Considering how often Kershaw misses the plunge grind anyway, you may as well give a bigger choil right there, so you can pinch up on it. No one's using that part of the knife. It's never ground right anyway. Anyway, enough about that. One more comparison on the Kershaw front. That is the Kershaw Blur. Again, favorable comparison in blade length. And the Progeny actually ekes out a bit of a win in the hand space, both on the top and the bottom. There's lots of empty space, though it does kind of go narrow in the thumb grip. As I said before, the extra flat up here with the contouring really works well. And again, not just any leak, but a random leak, so you can get an idea of the size there. Definitely larger than the leak in all aspects, though the little bit I will tell you right now, that little bit of choil you see on the random leak is a boon to any design that they want to put out. If they would put that kind of choil like on the Blur, let's say, instead of that recurve, I love it. Just about any Kershaw would benefit from that style of choil, unless it already has one. All right, again, couple more, just because everyone deserves to see what the size is. That is a small Benchmade, or as many people say, this is the Richer Hogue Mini. Definitely larger than that. A couple of others that might just give you the Wee Banter, significantly larger than that. In fact, the Wee Banter being small but lots of hand space for the thing really does eke out a nice bonus for itself, in that you can see it almost, if it wasn't for this tail, you get close to the same hand space. The Banter is really Really good for the small knife on hand space. And a good value for the money if you're looking for a super steel and just an all-around good knife. Ooh, tough competition on the budget side from the Honey Badger. This is the medium D2 Worn Cleaver. Got the attitude, got a lot of good looks. Doesn't have quite the hand space, but again, the large forward choil. I don't know if I had to eke out a bigger choil, I still think I would get a little bit bigger choil on the Progeny. Would still yield me larger blade space along with a larger handle space to go with it. So again, I love the Worn Cleaver. There are very few knives that are as easily distinctive just by looking at it, as well as a design that gives you attitude from the get-go. But I think the Progeny ekes out a win on the size comparison. And one more that is just always fantastic, and that is the Para 3. This one, the lightweight, the Spike 27. Again, full choil. Similar hand space, again, bigger choil. If you use it to the choil, where choil starts and ends, you get very similar hand space. Your pinky, if you're really large, can pull up the butt there, as well as the good thumb space. Para 3, always good, but not anywhere close to the cutting edge you get with the Progeny. And that really comes down to where I'm going to go with the rest of this review, you guys. This is a fantastical knife. Is it cheap? No. But it is a rare bird indeed. Not only are APurvis Blades knives hard to come by, most people who buy them keep them, but it's a unique configuration I got that came directly from them, so that's always a bonus. But it is still the same manufacturer. It is still a production model. And it is all of the configurations that he asked for. It was so I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to enjoy this knife. I am going to be letting it go, but this is, oh, it's a hard one to let go, you guys. This one is honestly choking up. You can cut cardboard. The coating doesn't even get down. You choke back. This thing's got a powerful bit of slice, and with all of that hand space there, right, you can actually pinch grip it all the way back. And M390 is not a steel you want to be hacking at stuff with, but man, the fact that you can pull your full hand back behind, there's still enough room for your thumb to be on top if you want to do it, or if you want to pinch grip or do a hack job or kind of hack at some cardboard, or you need to, I don't know, the catharsis is real. Whatever you got to do that makes you feel better, right? Again, a little bit on the ergonomics. If you look at the front, you'll see it is contoured fairly evenly, but then when you get to the back, it's kind of cut in the middle, right? It's like it was contoured and then the shape was cut, which may seem a little weird because it's basically almost at its widest point right there, and then it narrows down. But that's what I mean by that flat space. It really, really provides a nice wide. It's actually wider here than it is here, though it looks the same. It's so flat where here it's rounded, right? The flat is actually larger back here. It's nice on the back of the hand. It gives a nice big platform, especially even when you're on the pinch grip. You go right. Your hand doesn't have to move when you open it. For the size of the knife, again, the only thing that comes close in compactness, I would say, for blade length is going to be the CJRB large or a design like it, and even then, it's really not the same. It comes close. But, I mean, this is a classic and a well-known value because it's one of the only knives that you can get in this size, contoured. I mean, yeah, it's D2. This is M390. Way better and corrosion resistant. A lot of the same qualities when it comes to it. But one of the reasons why this is such a well-known and loved knife is because it's able to pull all of that off. And pull it all off in an extraordinarily low price point, right? Very few knives pull that off. In fact, they're usually about this price, which gives you an idea of why that CJRB is so good. It's because it usually requires a design like this to get anywhere close. And in many, many ways, this is a superior design for the functionality. I mean, this is a slicer, right? It's got the sheep's foot blade. It's got a lot of stuff that goes with it. It's almost blacked out. It's got a unique design that is easily distinguishable. You may not like it. The aesthetics are one thing, right? Some people like the way it looks. Some people don't. The action on it is fantastic. Right? You can't. I have never even had to adjust the pivot. Super smooth. Snappy on the out. Just so gravity works right, so I'm not doing it at an angle. It doesn't work so well on camera if I do it that way. And again, flipper tab. You can light switch it or just push button, but sublime. Oh, I better lift it up a little higher. Ooh, that's just a light touch, right? If you actually pull this out and give it just a little bit of a hard flip, snap. Thumb studs, even better. Just a light touch. Oh, that's a hard snap on that D10. I love it. Locks up really good. Somewhere around, right? Depending on how you look at it, about 30-40%. Lots of wear-in capabilities and a good curved, which I like, ramp on the tang. So the longer it wears in, the harder it is for it to go up. Instead of just a linear way, the more it wears in, the longer it takes for it to wear in. So by the time it gets to the full liner match, it will still require years for it to go any further over. You're never going to see lock rock or that lock break out in any reasonable lifetime of this knife. Carbon fiber handle, nice and smooth. I would say that's probably about a 600 grit or so. Semi-matte, but again, carbon fiber catches the light. Absolutely fantastic. Design on point. It definitely sticks to what it is. This is a slicer. It's got a nice big flat. You know what you're supposed to do with this knife, right? The aesthetics, whether you like it or not, it is a unique design that tells you exactly what the knife is for, as well as, I mean, I kind of like it. Kind of looks like a hot rod. It looks like it's got a spoiler, right? This thing almost looks like it's moving, sitting still. I love it. I love the aesthetics of it. The mechanics of it work really good. The expectations from this knife for the price paid for it were for it to be excellent, and it is. There is not anything that is a production problem on this is literally because I did it to the knife. There's not a void in the carbon fiber, right? There's no gaps in the sanding. There's plenty of chatoyance. The coating on the blade is perfectly even. The grind on this knife is almost perfectly even, and I would tell you that anything that probably looks like it's not has more to do with me than the knife. Probably me trying to strop it and maybe pulling some off, but it is, I mean, I would need a laser level to see any difference in that grind. That is pretty sweet. Same with the coloring on the screws, the pocket clip, the anodization. Everything on this thing is nearly perfect in execution. My expectations of it were to be nearly perfect, and it has, I mean, it is more nearly perfect than I had hoped for. Again, the mechanics of this thing is just so smooth. I want to use this knife more, but I am just so in love with it, I guess, that I don't want to. So that's actually why this is actually going to be going, again, this is going up for sale. This is up for sale right now on eBay. I will put it out there, but that's part, I wanted to get this video review out before it goes out for sale because this is such an excellent knife. And my first APurvis design, I've never had a sharp by design or any of those guys from Knife Nuts Podcast before. Knife Nuts Podcast. That's can get you if you don't say it too fast. Before this will probably not be less. This is an excellent knife. Well done. Great design, great execution. Absolutely a joy to hold. And again, the only reason I'm getting rid of this is because I want to use my knives, and this one sits in the box. It literally sits in the box, and I come in and I play with it, and then I put it back in the box. So this needs to go to someone else who's going to enjoy it. But I gotta tell you, whoever does is going to have a really nice knife, and I hope someone else does, because this is a great design, great execution. Again, its intended purpose is exactly what it shows. It does its intended purpose great. It's a great tool. It is also a stylish tool that you can use both as a functional tool and as a style statement as towards what kind of tool you like. And it backs up that statement of, I like high-end, well-made, well-executed, and pretty tools. And that really sums up this knife, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and hand that in this right here. This is a fantastic little pocket knife. It is well worth looking into. I personally wish I had more time to do more Knife Nuts podcasts, but this is a great bit to watch. And you guys, if you ever get a chance to jump on an APurvis knife, I'll tell you, in all of my experience, every one I've ever touched and this one that I've owned is well worth it. And yeah, I hate to let this one go, but it will be out there. If you get a chance, if you watch this video too late, by all means, sorry about that. You may not ever get to buy one of these, but at least you get to see one. So thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day. This has been a dose of Drew and an episode of Friday Night Knives. I am said Drew. Go ahead, subscribe, comment, like, all that stuff that makes the algorithm happy, and watch it twice, and then come back and comment in the morning. Thank you all.